and welcome once again to this Bonita Soft webinar. Are you ready to continue our trip aboard the Bonita Express? I hope so. My name is Thalia, and I'm your conductor on this Bonita Express. We are arriving at stop number 4, self-contained applications. If you've been here before, well, welcome back. It's going to be a little bit different from other stops, so I hope you like it. If this is your first time, well, welcome aboard to Bonita Express. We've been doing some different stops, different universes, and this is the first one that is touching a concept which is called self-contained apps. And I hope you like it. This is going to be a presentation. As always, at the end, we will have some time for questions. And so I hope you like it. I got inspired by what's happening in April. So yes. So introducing self-contained applications. We are going to follow a gray rabbit to tell us this story that starts as I created an app with Bonita and deployed in production. But one day, and because of that, until finally, and ever since then. Do you want to know what happens? Let's follow this gray rabbit. And it's already gone, so let's go. So yes, I created an app with Bonita and deployed in production. If you were here 2 stops ago, we were at the bank, at the Acme Bank, because we were trying to get some money to continue our trip. So we had to ask for a loan. The application that we did during that stop looks like this beautiful application for the Acme Bank. And as I said, as a client, I was connected and I could request a loan. Yes, of course, with the process approach, first we modeled the entire process. So for asking for a loan, then it had to be validated and then or rejected. But in this case, it was validated. That's why we could continue our trip. And so we got the money. So with this application and step number 2, if you would like to know more, yes, you can watch the replay right now. But well, it's just for you to have this application in mind. This is the application that we are going to use as an example through this story. So yeah, I could ask for a loan and everything, and it looked like this application for this. So this example will allow us to better define what an application in Bonita means. It's a navigation of pages that can be accessed by a profile. So we can define it this way, and the goal is to display and structure the right information, so to provide the right controls at the right time for the profiles. So as I'm saying in my example, thanks to the interfaces and everything that was there, I could ask for the loan, I could know when it was validated, and then, yes, hopefully, yeah, get the money and all this. And my counselor also, he could know when it was time, when someone had asked for a loan and do his job. So at the end, the goal is so profiles can efficiently perform their tasks, no matter the process or the business. Then an application, as we did, was created with Bonita Studio. As you may know, we have 2 versions. One is called Community and the other one is called Subscription or Enterprise. And both have open source core. So really they are sharing the same code that is open sourced. And a big difference, well, the difference between both of them is that the subscription edition or enterprise edition contains several values that you have to pay for. And yes, and that's the main difference. And Yes, if you are a subscription or enterprise user, maybe you are also using the Bonita Continuous Delivery, which is a tool that helps deploying applications. But anyway, at the end, you are running this application on a runtime. So for now, we have two: the Docker image, Bonita Docker image, or the Bonita Tomcat bundle. Okay. Then, well, yes, when you ask for production, I would say maybe just imagine in your company, when you want to add an application to production, not only a Bonita application, I mean in general, let's call it the traditional path to production. What would you do? Normally you go to the IT department, you contact them and you say, well, I need you to help me to put this application in production. So IT will put the infrastructure so you can deploy there. So the first thing of the infrastructure is this hardware, right? The machine, the server where your application will run. So this is the first step once IT agrees. And then, well, part of the infrastructure is this runtime, so the software that will be used as the base for running your application. I'm saying it's not only on Bonita, it's generally on applications. That's how it works. Yes. So in Bonita, it's like this. And once you have this infrastructure completed, then we could add our application, our Acme Bank for loans. Of course, as we saw in the definition, there are these pages. So as a profile, I can do my tasks. But yes, these pages, well, they are based on a BDM, so your business data model, your objects, and also the BPM part, so the profiles themselves, the cases, the processes, everything that you have designed in there. So when the user interacts with your user interfaces, well, it makes sense and it works. So this is running on this engine, and in parallel, Bonita comes with something called the core apps. Maybe you have already used them if you already use Bonita, but it's good to remember that, well, there are two of them, Super Admin and the Application Directory. In case you don't remember or you don't know them, they look like this. So the first one, Bonita Administrator Application, will show really the overview of your application, the licenses, if you're using enterprise or subscription edition, the resources, the business data model, the organization, the BPM, everything really is an overview of your application running on that runtime, yeah. And the application list, well, as its name indicates, it will show the list of all the applications available in there for a profile, of course. So we were really happy because of this. Well, our application was in there, accessible for our clients, and in parallel, yes, we could connect as a super admin or use the application directory, right? Then one day, what happened? Well, the Acme Bank decided that they needed the process approach for other applications. So in here is the human resources. So it's adding a new application. So of course, remember the traditional path, we could ask our IT department, so could you give me another infrastructure so I can add another application? But in this case, well, I already have the infrastructure to work with my Bonita application. So I'll just put it in there so they can leave like in the same infrastructure. So that's what you see on this diagram, right? But when doing this, in fact, we need to add something also to our BDM, which is being shared by both applications, and by our BPM, which is also being shared by both applications. So at the end, we are going from V1 to V2 because we are adding more stuff linked to the second application. And everything works correctly, right? It's working in there. We have the good infrastructure, and both applications can live together in parallel. But it's also good to remember that because of that, well, the first application, indirectly, we need to check that everything is working correctly, because since we are going from V1 from V2, there might be a risk that that the first application is being affected. So yeah, that's why indirectly we could be doing something to application 1. Let's zoom a little bit in here for this example. So what I'm saying here is Acme Bank for loans. We are having some UIs, for example, for the main Acme Bank, so the homepage of the bank, and then a page for requesting a loan, another page for adding new type of loan, and it uses objects, business data objects, such as a loan request, yes, which makes sense if we are asking for a loan. It has also a loan type linked to our request. And on the BPM part, of course, it contains the processes and the cases and everything. But it's also it's including the clients. So yes, profiles are including clients. On the other hand, for this example, the human resources is more for internal users of the Acme Bank. So it will be more interfaces for a vacation request, for example, the vacation management or the team management in general. And yes, in consequence, we are using not the same objects as the first one, but more related to this vacation request, right? And as I said, the profiles are more the employees, not the clients. Yes, it doesn't make sense. So that's what we can see in this case, that maybe we could, yes, do things a little bit different, even if they are working this way, but with maybe some consequences. So until finally, it's what if we really thought of these two applications as two entities represented this way. So the pink one, Acme Bank for loans, and the yellow one for human resources. Maybe this image makes you think of something. Well, I did this image thinking of something, so maybe if that brings you something to your head, you can put it, yes, on the panel. Someone said, yes, a whale, maybe. Maybe you know why, maybe not. Well, this is an interesting answer, but indeed, that's where I wanted to go. So I'm trying to go to containers. So this image, I think it really explains what a container is, because this is like the original idea. So for use for transportation of freight, what I've read is that before these containers, the transportation of freight was very a little bit more complex, because every little package, small package containing the merchandise needed to be taken care individually. So yes, it was imagining like just grabbing a bag and then putting it in there, and another one and another one. And so two small units. And since containers arrived, So they put everything in there, and it has been a revolution because it's way easier. And well, you can use a boat, a plane, a train, and yeah, it's so this is really the idea, and I really think it illustrates the origin. If we take this idea to software, then it would be packages to deliver software, but not just any package. They are standardized units, so they can be portable. As I said, this idea of train, airplane, a boat, and also they are able to run quickly and reliably on different environments. And now maybe the someone who said the whale in the previous slide, maybe you know who is one of the companies that have democratized the most this concept of containers. If you know the name. Whoop. Well, yes, indeed, it's Docker. And even on their logo, they are using these boxes at the top, yes, for referring to containers. Oh, but yes, remember, we were following a gray rabbit, right? So let's keep following him. Yes, let me just represent now, instead of boxes, small boxes, our two applications. Let me represent them this way. Why? Because we are not only able to work with Docker, we can also work on Tomcat, for example. So I think it's important to make this a difference. But we are having two different units. One is pink and one is yellow for this example. And so, oh, there it is, our gray rabbit. So yes, I really like this image of imagining this basket full of these small units, and you can put another unit, and then they can live together without interfering with each other, as long as you have enough space in your basket, right? So let's take a deeper look at these units that we are calling here the self-contained app. So let's retake what would be a self-contained app. Would be a set of data, users, user interfaces, and processes deployed on the same single environment or executed on a single administration domain. So if we'll take a look inside, it would look something like this. So yes, this unit contains a runtime already in there, and the BVM and the BPM and the application and the engine, and also these core applications that are very useful. So they use the super admin and the application list, that no matter the application, they are useful. And so more into details. How can we generate a self-contained application with Bonita 2023.1? Well, it will be the same way that we've been doing before with Bonita Studio, one of the two versions, Bonita Community or subscription. And what's also coming in here in Bonita 2023.1 is we already use Maven, but now it will be a little bit more reinforced, since our projects are a multi-model Maven project. So it will be even easier to really just go fetch dependencies, because that's where we are trying to do, separate the small pieces. So at the end, you can just fetch what you need and build your application. So that would be the really first step. And once you are ready, because you have your application dependencies and you're good to go, then we can go to step number 2. So it's creating a zip of your application. So this is, as I said, this is the step with Bonita 2023.1. In this zip, on this zip, you would add the app description, the BDM, the organization, the processes, the UI, so pages, forms, layouts, the themes to really be compliant with your company colors and themes, the extensions if you have any, if you are using any, and the profiles if you are an enterprise or subscription user. It's a very useful value, so you can separate by profiles, and it's easier to know who is accessing what. So but this is, if you are using community, then yes, it's not necessary to add the profiles. So also, you can create this zip manually. Just need to be sure that you are adding all of this. If you are an enterprise edition user, you can use the Bonita Continuous Delivery, which will generate this zip for you. So once this is done, now I will introduce this new tool, which is called Bonita Application Packager tool, which for now it's available on GitHub. So on our github.com/bonitasoft/Bonita Application Packager. And so once you have all this, you can use it this way. The idea is to give this tool 3 things, or at least 2. The first one is if you are trying to get self-contained applications with a Docker image, well, the Docker image itself, the app that you have zipped, and a file. So it's a configuration file that is also for subscription only. So this is not mandatory, but let me just explain what this is in case you haven't used it yet. So this file contains your parameters that are linked to an environment. So the idea is that you have your application on one side, and on the other you have this file just containing your parameters. So if you want to create a pre-production, you would use a different conf file than your production or your dev environment. Okay. So you give this input to your packager tool, application packager tool, and you will have as an output a self-contained application containing your application already packaged in there. And the same is possible with Tomcat. So the only thing that changes is instead of giving the Docker image, well, you're giving the Tomcat bundle. And that's it. You are getting your self-contained app. So what does it look like? So yes, I'm using the command Bonita package Tomcat, and in here I'm just giving the path towards my Tomcat bundle and the path towards my application to convert. And this is the tool. So say it's ready. So it's on the output folder. So I just need to unzip my my application, and I will put it on my app, on a folder that is called my app. Okay. And then when I access in there, well, I can just start the Tomcat. And it will, as usual, start my Bonita, my Tomcat, and my application will be accessible. And that's it. So it's really like this. For Tomcat is Bonita package Tomcat, and the path to your to the zip of your application. If you do it this way without saying which Tomcat, it will use the Tomcat at the root of where you are calling this this command. If not, you can just say -b and put the path towards the Tomcat you will be using. And the third one is when you're using this configuration file. So you will just use a -c and then give the path to your configuration file. And so the output is a new folder. It creates a new folder which contains your self-contained application on a zip that you just need to unzip and then, well, just deploy it. And it's very similar with Docker. So it's again Bonita package Docker and the path towards your application, to the zip of your application. You can also say, well, I want to use this image. And something that's new, that's very new, that appeared on 2023.1, because I forgot to say, yes, we have released the beta. So if you haven't used the beta yet, it's a good time to do it. It was released on March, but also you can also wait a little bit. Next month it's coming the release. But if you don't want to wait, today you can download beta 2023.1 and start using everything that I'm explaining. Okay, so since this version, I was saying, we have added Bonita artifact repository, which is also a value for enterprise edition users. And the idea is that now we will have this artifact repository where we'll put everything, our official artifacts in there. So, for example, the Docker image. And so you just have to give say that you are getting the Docker image from there, and you just give the version that you want to use. So very simple. In just a command line, you can create your self-contained application. The output for Docker will be a Docker image tagged as my Bonita application latest. So it's really the equivalent between the Tomcat and the Docker. So, and ever since then, what can you imagine that has happened since this new concept of self-contained applications? Well, the traditional path has been shortened a little bit, path towards production. Because now, of course, you need a little bit less the help from your IT team for getting this infrastructure right. Because self-contained applications already contain everything inside. So you just need, like, where can I put them? Where can I put them and run them? But it's already everything configured in there. So it's shorter. Also, well, the reduction of risk when adding a new application, because there are separate units, so they can live together without interfering with each other. Like in here, human resources application can be just added next to the other one, and you know for sure that they are not affecting. Also, you have full control of updates. What do I mean by this? Well, just infrastructure updates, for example. Imagine that you want Bonita runtime 2023.1 for your human resources application. But later this year, because at Bonita Soft we have 2 releases per year, so later this year you decide that, well, for Acme Bank for loans, you want to go for 2023.2. So that you can do it without saying, oh, should I like migrate everything? No, you just choose the one that you want, and then it will be simpler because it's smaller And so normally it will be easier to get aligned both calendars, right? The business calendar, sometime for some reason you really need for your business to get on one date, but the technical calendar, it's a bit complicated. So with this smaller units and with this independence at the end, well, it should be easier and to have full control of your updates. And also, well, I'd say before, but your application dependencies, so handled by Maven, well, they are even handled separately. So you just need to take care of your really separating between the application dependencies and the infrastructure. So, well, yes, if I said everything in a nutshell, Bonita Self-Contained Apps include everything they need to run by themselves. They are really, this is special, this is a small unit that contains already everything. They separate application dependencies from infrastructure, as I said just before. So it's also, each app can evolve easily without impacting your other apps. And they are based on industry standards. So we are not reinventing things. We are being inspired by things that are already existing there. So these apps can integrate to the way you work. So yes, that's I think that's also a very good point. And well, this is just the beginning. Here's the gray rabbit again. So yes, we have this basket, filling them with these small units called self-contained apps, and I have added a third one in there. But yeah, this is just the beginning. 2023.1, Bonita 2023.1 is just the beginning. It's introducing this concept, and we'll keep working on that to make your life easier. So we should be following this gray rabbit. And he is gone. So thank you. If you have any questions, so let me just check. And I hope you like this presentation and it was clear. So just tell me you have anything, the panel of questions, and we can discuss. Let me open this. Nicely presented. Thank you, Fortunato. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And Philemon, who is saying hi from Namibia. Hello. So yes, don't hesitate. So yes, someone was saying if this is available for community version. Yes. So as I have said, self-contained applications, yes, are a value for both community and enterprise. And what I was just saying is, if you don't have the enterprise edition, well, the only thing, but it's quite easy, you will just need to export each element in here and put it in on a zip, but you can build it yourself. Of course, profiles, you won't be able to build your profiles because this is only for for enterprise editions. But once you have this zip that you have, yes, your application, you have built it with community or enterprise edition, you will be able then, just as I said, on GitHub to download this application packager tool. And then also the Docker image or the Tomcat, you can download it and just give it as input to your application packager tool, and it will, yes, get out your self-contained app. Let me, yes, just show you what it looks like. Here. So yes, so the idea is you get in here, and on releases you can download the tool and as I explained, everything is also explaining here, and you can use it to generate your apps. Yes, for Bonita Studio, for the beta, I was saying, it's available for download. So on community.bonitaself.com, yes, it was released on March 15th. So you can of course find all of the other values that it contains, but also the links. There are the links for downloading, so the Bonita Studio and the runtime. Yes, the documentation, it's also important. So remember, you can take a look in here on what's new in 2023.1, currently in beta. Okay, I'll check if other questions are here. Don't hesitate to ask your question, and I will try my best. Does this tool replace Jenkins? So I suppose you are talking about Packager, I suppose. Well, tool by tool. So if you are talking about Bonita Application Packager tool, no, it doesn't replace Jenkins, because really, as its name indicates in here, it's for packaging the application. So the only job of this tool, sorry, is for packaging, and in Jenkins, where it's for deploying. So it's just, you can easily integrate it in Jenkins. So for example, creating a job in there, so it will generate your self-contained application. But yes, it's just like plugging in your Jenkins. This tool is just for packaging. And what else can I tell you? Yes, I already said next month, the release of 2023.1 is coming. And so we will have a special session to explain all the values that are in there. Okay. So tell me, was it good for you? Did you like the Gray Rabbit story? Should I continue doing things like this, or well, if you wish, you can tell me later on the survey. Of course, that's great. If you could tell me, yeah, what you would like to watch next. It's also very, very useful, and there's already a big list, and I'm really working on that for the next stops. But this one, I thought it was a good one, a good stop. Like, it was worth it because it should simplify everyone's life and lots of advantages, and it's a big deal with 2023.1. Yes, maybe you don't know, but this version is a major release because it contains this this new feature, this new value, and so this is one of the reasons we are going to major, and we will keep working on this concept to be better and better, thanks to your input, of course. Okay, thank you, Fortunato. Well, what time is it? Okay, well, we have ended a little bit earlier. We can stop right now. I can wait if you have more questions, because I know sometimes it's like I'm not sure the question, or I'm writing. Thanks for the presentation. Thank you, Miguel, for being here. And well, yes, as I said, I'll wait a little bit more if you have another question. Great. Well, I think then everything was very clear. As always, the last reminder, the replays will be available on bonitasoft.com/videos. You can take a look at the other stops as well. So maybe some people in here don't know, but every time that we have a stop, we also have it in French and in Spanish at different times. So if you want to, for example, if you're interested in Spanish, you can just add ES Bonita Soft videos, and you will see all the videos in Spanish, the replays as well. And for next webinars, you can always take a look at, yeah, put it in English as well, resources and events and webinars. So, and you can see what's coming next. You can see as well, yeah, we are going to Open Expo next month. And on June, we're going to Mexico. So hopefully I can come as well. If you are in Mexico in June, so don't hesitate to come. It's a very interesting day with lots of learnings from our clients, from even just from experts on the process approach. We try to make it really a whole event linked to the process approach, not only Bonita, but yeah, Bonita is a good example. Okay, well, thank you again for being here, for your time. Hopefully you like it and you will try the new self-contained applications and let us know what you think. Well, see you next time. Bye, take care.